Yo, it's your boy Kenji, man, and we back with another spoiler review. This is chapter 718. I don't know the title yet. The title hasn't been released. Actually, the title has not been released in the last few chapters. And I don't know, man. So, it ain't the same translators. But we got G's Wag for the save. He has done basically a, a translation, summary translation of the next upcoming chapter. Hopefully, we get a nice translation for this chapter. There'll be more time because a lot of times the dude that's translating now just he rushes it. Doesn't give me a title. Really doesn't give me a lot of information too. But let's go. Appreciate this from G's Wag. Go check him out on Reddit. He always does this. So if you don't know what the hell they're saying, go to Reddit. Go to G's Wag and he'll give it to you. Or just go to the link at the bottom, readkingdom.com, where you can just go straight to it. Alright, here's Quinn. Moran announces that the Zhao are coming from the right and orders the troops to strengthen the right side. The Kanki army is scrambling to get soldiers on the right side, and the Zhao says to kill the Kanki main army. The Zhao's attack with an endless wave of soldiers made contact with Kanki's army, and they are pushing their way through, which was to be assumed from the last chapter that was going to happen. At the left, with Gakuka, one of Moten's soldiers, say the right is struggling because the Haishin unit left, and Shin says to forget it because as annoying as it is, he knows Kanki is an idiot and will do something about what's happening over there. He's a great general. He says to focus on what they're about to do, and Moten says the fate of the entire Kanki army is up to them, and Shin says it's win or lose now. Moten's soldier is surprised Shin is thinking they can win in this situation. He believes, people. Believes. Moten's lieutenant is holding off the Zhao, and his soldier says he just needs to hold out a bit longer since the Haishin unit is here to help them, to which he is surprised to hear the news. Kyokai gets to his location and says she's the lieutenant of the Haishin unit and that their cavalry is there to help them, and they will leave the infantry to them and to use them as needed since they are as tough as rocks. About to see the infantry. Shugen! Aizen says he'll ask about why the Haishin unit is here later, and asks if they can hold off the Zhao long enough for them to reorganize their forces. And Kyokai says that's what they're here for. He then thinks to himself that he cannot let her get near Moten since Moten is his. Rikuzen says thanks to the Haishin unit, you're finally able to help on the outside and gathers his troops. Rikuzen must be Moten's lieutenant as well. I'm not sure. As he's about to call out the target, Naki comes in and say if they cut off the enemy over in that spot, then the strength of the enemy will be halved. So Rikuzen is the lieutenant for Moten and the Gakuka army. Rikuzen's army is confused as they see Naki unit as part of the Haishin unit, but look more like Kanki's army. Naki says he's the Haishin unit's 1,000-man commander Naki, who was part of the Kanki's army before. Rikuzen says that his past doesn't matter, and that he's the 5,000-man commander Rikuzen. Rikuzen! Naki says he knows because Rikuzen is famous. Rikuzen then says that little Naki said that they're going to attack the line of enemies over there and ask him to join him since it'll be a little lacking with just his unit. So they're about to, we see the officers. This is basically telling us that, the Haishin unit officers are going to meet with the other officers of the Moten army or the Gakuka army, and they're about to make a plan. They're working together. Naki says it works out because his unit, though, thought it wouldn't be enough with just them. Naki then says he will comfortably follow them from behind, and Rikuzen says they'll focus just on the front in that case. Rikuzen leads the charge into the enemy's forces and tells the infantry to open a path. So they're making moves. They're making moves. I guess what they're trying to do now is they're doubling up so they can slow the pace or the momentum that the Zhao have started, right? With this first wave, because you understand this is just the first wave, right? That was their first wave that came in the beginning. I don't know what's going to happen on the back end. What they're going to do with that? They're probably holding off on that back end part where they're their backside. But this seems to be the front, basically the left to Heki, because Heki's in the very front. At Kenki's HQ, Moran is freaking out, asking if it's okay if he can move Kokua. What? I gotta know how to pronounce that name. Kokuo. Kokuo. Over, that's the girl, lieutenant of Kenki. Kokuo over to reinforce the right, and Kenki says it's too early, to which Moran says it'll be too late. Kenki then says it's for this exact situation that those guys came. Who is those guys? A messenger arrives to give Kenki's orders to move to the right and fend off the enemy forces. The general of the North Army says he understands and that he will live up to Kenki's expectations. For the 50,000 that made it from the 200,000 originally forces, it was an honor for them to be able to fight to protect Kenki as he was seen as a hero for them. The Northern general was even more hyped as it was their chance to prove themselves, and he roused the forces to fight for Kenki's victory. As they make contact with the Zhao soldier says if it's a battle of morale, they won't lose either. As the morale on both sides were equal, the Quen were the ones who were slowly losing as they faced the greater number of the Zhao. Okay, so those guys who came from the Northern Army, those 50,000 remaining soldiers, are sacrificing their lives for the Kenki army. Oh! Over by the left wing, the Haishin unit and the Gakuka are fighting very well together. So well that it can be seen as something that's not by the number increase alone. Yeah, those guys know each other. The officers seem to be working in tandem with each other. I don't know if they ever worked. I mean, of course they worked together before, but there's a lot of new faces as well. So I guess it's just two young armies that have just got, who are building up a name. Makes sense. Moten says it's because it's not the first time they fought together. I just said that. And Shin says they've seen each other since they were both 300-man units. Yep, you goddamn right. Now we go to Zhao. At Roboku's HQ, a soldier reports the left has broken through the second wall, while on the right there's a unit moving over there because of the Haishin unit that went there. So the left collapses and the right is making a win. Roboku says there's no need to worry about either side because no matter what, they have no need for concern. Roboku should not be thinking that way, man. Come on, Roboku. As many times as you've been lost in this series, you never know. You just always be ready. But he think he all good. I mean, I think he good too, but until I can see a clear path to victory, I don't know if I could be like Shin, like just be like, we're gonna win. And I'm like, man, we just started to do something. Now, back at the Quen. At the Gakuka HQ, they all noticed a new army coming in with a bigger number than before. That's the second wave. Leading the Zhao are the two generals from Seka. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. It's time to kill those stupid motherfuckers. I already know it's that one of those guys is going to be a big, strong, older dude, and the other one seems to be younger. It seems to be very strategical, right? So here, let's continue. 10 is worried because that they were already touch and go while Moten's soldiers are looking to him for orders. Moten then asks Shin if it's okay if Shin leaves it to him, to which Shin says of course. Moten then calls out for the two armies to get information, with the Gakukai on the left and the Haishin unit on the right. With Moten and Shin at the head, together they will become an arrow that will pierce through the Zao. Excuse me. Pierce through the Zao in front of them and break out of the cage Roboku has made. I hope y'all can do that, man. I hope you can, bro. Magazine break next week. What that means? Magazine. Oh, it's gonna be a break next week, basically. But yeah, it's gonna be a break. I feel like we already went through a break, right? Well, let's talk about it. Until I can see the images. Well, I can see the images, but I like to get a clear idea. So only can just talk about it a little bit. It seems like I said, Moten, the Gakukai and the Haishin unit are really going to have to find a momentum, right? That's going to lead to victory, or at least shake up the whole battlefield as a whole. And we see the remaining 50,000 of the Northern Army trying to do their best to protect the Kanki army as well. You want to keep your main army intact, right? Especially if it's guarding your great general, one of the 5 great generals of Quinn, because one hasn't been chosen yet. So we'll see that. I have no idea what's going to happen. But it seems like Kenki isn't sweating it. He ain't sweating it. And he probably has a plan. But I think it's going to revolve around what the Haishin unit and the Gakukai unit does. Because the fact that Kanki saved that Northern Army for last means he knew this was probably going to happen. That they were going to go there and be outnumbered. And the only way because I don't see Kanki being the type of guy to be giving out orders to the Haishin unit and the Gakukai unit anyway. Just tell them what to do. Seems like an Ozen thing. He'll just let them do whatever they want and then work around them. That's Kanki's whole mentality. But that's all I pretty much got. You can follow the link to this website if you want to check it out. All you gotta do is go to the chapter 718 and then they'll show you the spoilers at the very bottom. Or yeah, the spoiler link at the very bottom and you'll find it here. But it's other than that, it's a wrap. It's your boy Kenji. Subscribe, comment, like, share, do all the thug dizzle. I'm out. Peace.